I'm Lisa Flood.
And I'm Jason Angelette, and welcome to Faith and Marriage Today.
And we would like to welcome back to the show Ben Clapper from Louisiana Right to Life. Ben, thank you for joining us.
Oh, it's great to be back with y'all. Thank y'all so much.
We have a lot to talk to you about today, but I think where we want to begin is something big has really happened in Louisiana in that the New Orleans and Baton Rouge locations of Planned Parenthood have closed.
That's right.
What does that mean to us?
Yeah, well, rewind like 12, 15 years, and remember Planned Parenthood was trying to build this monstrous abortion facility on Claiborne Avenue. Themselves, they said their goal was to perform 2,844 abortions they like built and designed that facility to do that many abortions in New Orleans.
That was their goal.
That was their goal. That was their stated goal. They hired consultants. They studied the number of abortions in California versus Louisiana, and they said, let's squeeze Louisiana for all the abortions it can. And that was the number they wanted to do there. So just such a callous disregard for human life there. They set out to do that. Well, as you remember, those who can remember that long ago, there was a lot of delays, for them. Thankfully, the Archbishop Amen stood up, made such a great impact of telling people not to work with Planned Parenthood. And then the state stood up at the time, Governor Jindal, preventing them from getting a license to do abortions. So their building was built, but thanks be to God, they never got a license to do abortion. So they never performed, legally at least to our knowledge, a single abortion at that location in New Orleans.
So that is great news.
That's awesome.
And at the same time, there are a lot of people who are saying, great, Louisiana Right to Life, now we don't have health care for women.
Right.
And that's not true.
That's not true at all.
How do you address that?
Sure. So what Planned Parenthood's been doing over the past 10 years is that, of course, they've been sending women to other places to have abortions, right? They've been telling women how to get the abortion pill. So it's not like they say, oh, well, we don't do abortions in Louisiana. Well, first, that wasn't their intention, right? Their goal was to do abortions. Second, we know they've been spending millions of dollars to send women to other states to have abortion and to other places. So they are still the largest abortion business in America. So they're not like, their hands aren't clean here in Louisiana itself. Now, they've also been doing, they say, other women's health care services, but the good news is that every service that Planned Parenthood provides outside of abortion is available in other places in Louisiana.
Would you give us some examples of what those are?
Sure. They may do some women's health care type things, and that is available right next door, for example, at the Woman's New Life Clinic that does women's health care. That's also available at parish health units. That's also available at other community health centers that are federally qualified health centers. So they're eligible for Medicaid. They can provide Medicaid services. So that, while it might not be consistent with the Catholic faith, but they're providing certainly birth control and contraceptives. There are other secular health services that are doing that, and the same at community public health centers, like on Metairie Road or on Causeway in the Jefferson Parish Health Unit. So some of those services are what they're doing, maybe some cancer screenings and things like that. Though I'll say Planned Parenthood across the nation, all those types of services have been decreasing over the past 15 years, but abortion across the country has been increasing. So for us, it's no surprise that they chose to close this facility because they're trying to maximize their abortion across the country. So what they do is they're going to probably sell this property, take the money off that property, and they're going to put it into their other operations in other states and to further their effort to sell the abortion pill online. So I think Planned Parenthood understands that the battle, the effort has changed, this landscape has changed, and they're moving online to sell these abortion pills without all the strings attached that a state like Louisiana is going to try to do.
Let's talk about that. So,
Sure.
So praise God, Planned Parenthood New Orleans, Planned Parenthood Baton Rouge closed down there, but however, the access to the abortion pill online, and tell us the problem behind that,
Sure.
and also the dangers and risks just because of the pill itself.
Right. So, of course, Roe v. Wade was overturned, so abortion facilities in Louisiana are closed. So you can't go find a surgical abortion that's legal in the state of Louisiana. Well, abortion pills, which are abortion, just done now through a chemical drug, which 30 years ago was not available. So think if Roe v. Wade had been overturned 30 years ago, it'd be a totally different situation than it is now. But the abortion pill is sold from states like New York, California, from businesses there. It's also being sold from the Netherlands and from India online. It's illegal to sell it in Louisiana, but the problem is it's being sold from another state. And so the law enforcement in Louisiana doesn't have the same ability to stop what's being done in New York, even though the business transaction is happening here.
Right.
But the danger is that people are selling these abortion pills without any medical examination, right? There's no doctor involved. The doctor may say they're screening online for an ectopic pregnancy, which is very dangerous if a woman were to take an abortion pill and have an ectopic pregnancy, but they're not doing those screenings. Some of the websites online say, have you had side pain? That's their way of screening for an ectopic pregnancy. They're not looking at the identification of the person. They're not making sure it's a woman who is buying the abortion pills. There have been terrible stories. In fact, last week a report came out, a young woman from St. Tammany Parish, she shared her story publicly online, how she was pregnant, she wanted to be pregnant, her boyfriend did not want her to be pregnant. He bought the abortion pills himself, he bought them using her name. He didn't have to present any identification, and he came to her and said, take these pills.
Wow.
She tried to throw the pills up, but she couldn't, and she lost the baby. And now she's speaking out. She's upset at what happened to her, and upset that someone in another state would mail these pills to a man.
Yeah.
Right? The federal government opened Pandora's box in 2021 when they allowed these abortion pills to be sent around by mail. It's bad for the babies. Obviously, it kills the unborn children, but it's bad for women's health as well. Many women are ending up in the hospital with complications from this. In Georgia, 2 women died a couple years ago because they didn't get help afterwards. So it's a very dangerous situation, and the state's trying to do all we can. It's really the federal government that's got to step in to protect the health and safety of women and unborn babies.
So I'm just trying to wrap my brain around this. I'm thinking, you know, say a teenage girl, say she's 14 years old, finds herself pregnant. She doesn't have to have any adult watching over her to make sure she's safe. She can just order this pill online, no medical treatment, no medical exam.
No parent.
She could be upstairs doing this on her phone, and her parents are downstairs.
Wow.
And they sadly will never know because it's online, it's rampant. You can go online and find many different companies that are doing it. And really, many of them are just companies with no doctor even involved in the situation. And states like New York and California are passing shield laws that say, Louisiana, you can't come hold accountable a doctor or a business in our state if we're sending abortion pills to your state. That's what's happening in Baton Rouge. Awful story, young woman, teenager, pregnant. She, of course, not the best situation. She was, though, excited about her pregnancy. She was planning a gender reveal party with her friends. Well, her mother, who previously had been arrested for domestic violence, so a bad family situation, the mother orders the abortion pills and tells her daughter to take them. Well, based on the family situation, it's not a good idea to say no in that situation, right? Well, she takes the abortion pills, ends up in the hospital, the baby dies. She's upset. Well, now Louisiana is trying to press to arrest the abortion doctor in New York who sent the mother the pills. Well, the state of New York is saying, well, we're not going to help you arrest this doctor because Louisiana needs New York's help to arrest that doctor in New York. So right now we have this divide in America, and these states like New York and California are trying to protect abortion with everything they have, and states like Louisiana are trying to protect unborn children and mothers in this state who are being coerced and pressured into having abortions. So it's very dangerous.
Well, and it also strikes me that a woman who orders it for herself still may be completely unaware of the risks that she's putting herself, you know, things she's putting herself in danger of because she just doesn't know.
She doesn't know, and she's in a moment of crisis.
Right.
You know, she's just thinking of the immediate stress and what she believes is a crisis in her life. You know, in past, if she had to go to the abortion facility, there may be some people outside. Now we have to, in a sense, reach her online in a way to try to reach her. We want her to go to a pregnancy center, where a pregnancy center is going to offer her all the help and support, show her that she can get through the situation. She can parent or she can place that baby for adoption. There are options and ways to help, but the anonymity of the abortion pill is so dangerous in the situation. Rebecca Hagan, she's coming to speak at St. Clement of Rome in November 20th, I believe. I shouldn't have said that date.
No, that's good.
Right here on. We'll give it to you, but
I think that is the date.
you think that
that's
is
right.
That's great. Very good. Well, you've heard her speak before,
Yes.
on the North Shore, but she tells the story how she was in her parents' home. She already had one child. She was pregnant with a second child. She took the abortion pill while she was in her parents' home, and the parents didn't know it. Thankfully, she learned about the abortion pill reversal, which is a beautiful, wonderful thing. Across America, over 6,000 babies have been born after the mother took the abortion pill reversal to counteract the effects of the abortion pill. And so she saved her baby's life through the abortion pill reversal. And now she travels the country telling her story. So she's going to be speaking at Mount Carmel and SSA this fall, and then we'll have an open presentation where she shares her story all about the dangers of the abortion pill, but her story as well, and the joy that can come, of course, through an unplanned pregnancy, right? Her dad said, if you ever get pregnant again, you're out of here. Well, now their family loves and cherishes this precious baby, you know. So, obviously crisis is crisis, and it's scary, but pregnancy centers and good people can help people walk through these situations and get out the other side.
So, I mean, tell us more specifically of like the work that y'all are doing at the Louisiana Right to Life. I mean, you've got this new kind of like development or this emerging challenge that seems to, this wasn't the issue like 5 years ago, right? We all weren't.
Well, abortion pills were certainly, they were present, and they were being, before Roe v. Wade was overturned, they were being given out by the abortion facility. But now it's changed in that they're being given out online. And so the rules should have never been changed federally to allow this to happen. It wasn't the overturning of Roe v. Wade as much, it was the combination of that, but the federal government basically saying anything goes. And that's what's happened. And that's why people can contact, their federal representative. President Trump asked the FDA, HHS asked them to take action to reinstate the policies that were there before 2021 that protected the health and safety of women regarding abortion pills.
That's an action point that I think we need to put in our show notes at the end for someone who's watching who says, now what did they say we should do? Because it's just nonsensical that this is not protecting women.
Right.
It's a lie that it is.
Absolutely. And abortion states and abortion industry people, they want to just give these pills out left and right. They say it's about empowering women to have these choices in a state like Louisiana that's depriving people of these choices. Well, these are precious unborn babies that we're trying to protect, and it's the health and safety of women. We don't want women going into hospital bleeding with no help and recourse.
Well, the stat where so many women who have had an abortion regret their abortion, right? And the stories that I hear, it's like they're telling the story that they felt like they had no choice. They're supposed to be pro-choice, but they're backed in this corner, and they feel like they're like in a bear trap, and they're just trying to cut their leg out to get out. And so they're so desperate, and it's like, this is where like the crisis pregnancy centers, the work of Louisiana Right to Life, we're showing them that there are amazing options that have freedom and have love that can reign. Tell us about like so specifically, what are the things that y'all are so working so tirelessly to do, and also the importance of educating the young hearts and minds of our youth.
So I would say when it comes to abortion pill, we have a few different silos that we're focusing on. The legislative and policy side is so important. We've passed laws in Louisiana that we believe will help impact and reduce the abortion pill trafficking. We know that Louisiana can't do it alone. It's got to be the federal government because interstate commerce is managed by the federal government. So we did pass a law that empowers a woman who has taken an abortion pill, who has been hurt by the abortion pill, to file a lawsuit against the companies out of state and try to hold them financially accountable. So one thing we can do, if any woman has taken the abortion pill and has been hurt by it, she may have rights to file lawsuits and to receive financial compensation for the hurt and the damage that has been done to her. So that's kind of one area. We want the whole community to know that we need to reach women first, to tell them that if they're pregnant, I would say we're encouraging schools and churches to make sure that they're saying if a woman becomes pregnant, there's help available to her. And it's so difficult, especially in the Catholic community, right? Even with schools, we want schools to just, that be the first message that people hear, because abortion pills are so easy to get right now for a young woman, that the first message to a young woman before she ever gets pregnant is, if you become pregnant, help is available, and go there first, right? So encouraging the schools. So that's why we have presentations at schools. That's why we do education at schools, but in the community, social media education is another important part of what we do to try to get these messages out. On social media, the abortion industry is really loud. Planned Parenthood is flashy. They have great messaging. We have to counteract that, and so that we get that information to people. And then community education, not with young people, but adults in general, educating them, like this example of Rebecca Hagan coming in town and sharing her story. Because we also want people to know about the abortion pill reversal, because if they know somebody who has taken an abortion pill, you only have really 24 to 72 hours of a window in order to have a woman receive the abortion pill reversal to save her baby. So we've also done advertisement relating to that. Like we had a billboard in Slidell about the abortion pill reversal, just trying to get that information into the community. So awareness, and of course we partner with the pregnancy centers who are doing that amazing frontline work to help and care for women. And throughout the New Orleans Archdiocese, there's 4 or 5 pregnancy centers that are just doing great work. So that's a little bit of the work coming, and then of course working with our federal elected officials to push for action federally to be done. This is the time, while President Trump, pro-life administration in office, he's together with him and Congress need to take decisive action right now to address this.
Do you have some more stories of hope and miracles that you could share with us? Because we see where the battle is. Like we clearly understand this is where the battle is now, but there have to be some victories happening.
Oh, no doubt about it. I mean, you know, I see the beautiful story of someone like Rebecca Hagan, who goes and shares her story, and her child, I mean, she went through the fire and came out the other side. And, you know, her beautiful child is that reminder of the gift of life, and to realize that even when it's tough, that child's worth fighting for, you know? And she's worth fighting for, because she would sit here and say, not only my baby's life, my life would be so different, so much worse if that abortion had occurred. The trauma it would, you know, affect how it would affect her, but, you know, how it would have then prevented her from really growing and developing as a young woman herself. So that's a story of hope that I look at and see and inspired by. And the hope of the women who are helped every day by pregnancy centers. You know, sometimes right now we see kind of the worst stories, right? You know, sometimes we don't see the quiet stories, you know, of women who've been helped by pregnancy centers, who've considered ordering the abortion pill, and remembering that over 6,000 babies have been saved across the country by the abortion pill reversal.
That's pretty incredible.
I mean, these are babies who, I mean, they were headed towards abortion. I mean, it was already begun, you know, and they were able to be saved in that process. So stories like that, you know, keep me inspired, you know, and the, you know, another story which was an equal combination of heartbreak and joy is Catherine Herring. She lives in Texas. Her ex-husband ground up an abortion pill in her water and gave it to her. Terrible, right? You're seeing like date rape, but abortion pill version of this in a sense. She was pregnant. She got the abortion pill reversal after she drank that water, not knowing what it was. And her baby Josephine is, I believe, 3 years old today. Wow. She has some developmental challenges, has had to overcome some physical issues, but you know, she brings life and joy. I got to meet her and hold her, and you know, and again, just to hold that baby again, who was so close to being lost. You know, it just reminds us. You know, Mother Teresa said, "We're not called to be successful this side of eternity. We're never going to be 100% successful, right? But we're called to be faithful, right? And each of us has our role, our place, our, you know, our assignment in this effort, in this movement, and that's what we got to keep doing to help moms and protect life."
Well, speaking of what we can do, like, so that's the great work that y'all are doing. How can we support the work that y'all are doing?
Yeah, well, I think the first thing is everyone's voice, right? I'm going to say that right now, if you look at public opinion in Louisiana, the state of Louisiana is not as pro-life as we were 5 years ago.
Really?
It's scary. And then if the trend continues over 20, 25 years, will that affect who our legislators are?
Yeah.
So I think people, especially in Catholic churches who are listening today, have to remember that the pro-life fight is not over. The hearts and minds of the people we sit in the pews with every Sunday, they may be confused and think that in a state like Louisiana, a woman who has a miscarriage can't be helped because of that.
Right.
There's misinformation. So I think each and every person has a voice, and they have to use it in this and to influence the way their friends and family think about these issues. And that seems esoteric, and it seems like it's a vague thing, but I believe that after many of us are gone,
Yeah.
we need the heart and soul of Louisiana to be pro-life if we're going to have pro-life laws. Yeah. So I think people need to be a voice, helping support their local pregnancy center. One of the great things right now is in Louisiana, there's a pro-life tax credit that's available. So there are about 30, 35 pregnancy centers across the state of Louisiana, but the Louisiana legislature, through our insistence, passed a law that when a pro-life person or anybody gives a donation to a pro-life pregnancy center, they can get a tax credit on their state taxes up to 50% of the amount of their donation that they made.
That's great.
Yeah, so it's not just a tax deduction, it's actually a tax credit. It's money in your pocket.
Yeah.
So you'd rather give that money to the pregnancy center than back to the state. No offense to the state, but I mean, might as well help them. So everyone can go to prolifetaxcredit.com and consider making your donation to a pregnancy center before the end of this year so that you can get that tax credit and help that great pregnancy center. There's a $5 million cap in the state of Louisiana for these tax credits.
Yeah.
So I mean, there might be people out there listening to this who have a huge tax liability because of their business or what they do, and they can make a huge difference through this tax credit and save some money for themselves.
So you talked about we can reach out to our congressmen, to our states. We can do that. We're going to put some information in the show notes and on our YouTube channel. And then obviously the financial support of supporting these great organizations that are giving help to women. And the voice. I want to come back to that point about our voice. I think about Charlie Kirk, and I think about his amazing voice that he had with love to bring the gospel, the truth, the good news, and specifically the pro-life movement to advance. It did a fantastic job. When it comes to like learning how to speak with love and truth, where can people go to kind of refine their understanding to help speak with love and truth to those difficult situations when they're trying to talk to someone who might see that abortion is the way that we should be doing this as a country? Sure.
Well, you can watch Charlie Kirk videos. I mean, obviously he talks about a lot of stuff, right? But he does have great videos where he's in discussions with people about abortion, and he does a great job. So you can come to us, our website, prolifelouisiana.org. We can help you. We do trainings where we come out to parishes or whatever group wants to come, where we provide some tips on how to discuss the issue of abortion in a way that's compassionate yet still truthful, right? That can change.
Ben, we need that.
Let's do it.
Ben, we need to do something about that. Jason, I think parishes really should offer this.
Yeah, we've definitely done it before. We got to set it up and do it again. So let's do it.
We'll talk.
So, just basic tips. Like if someone were to say, well, I'm personally pro-life, but I don't want to get involved. I don't think the government should get involved. Just asking, say, oh, I understand. Well, why are you personally pro-life? Just asking some basic questions. We would never say we're personally opposed to child abuse, but the government shouldn't get involved in child abuse, right?
Yes.
We would never say things like that, right? But with abortion, because the wall of the womb and almost anesthetizes us from the dignity of the human person in the womb, we can make various excuses. So different simple ways to do that. There's a great organization called Equal Rights Institute that all over the country, go to their YouTube page, video after video of teaching how to just cover each and every discussion point. So I know we can't discuss every one today on the show, but definitely we're open to coming and providing that training and those discussions, even role playing, do some simple role playing.
Well, another thing I know we can do is support you financially, and there's a big event that's coming up at the gala. We have about 3 minutes maybe. Let's get into it. I'm really excited about this.
So Friday, January 17th, we have our Proudly Pro-Life Gala. It's downtown at the Hilton. We've had some great speakers this year, but we're super excited this year that Father Mike Schmitz is our keynote speaker. So everyone knows him from the Bible in the Year podcast and all his social media, masses, everything. I mean, I think all of us watched him with masks during COVID, right?
Yes.
Yes. So he's coming here, and he's going to be our speaker. just so excited. Such a man of holiness, but clarity and compassion, and just it's just great to hear.
Joy.
Yeah, just joy. So we're really excited about him. So is, I think, everyone else as well. So people, get your tickets quickly, prolifegala.com, and click on the New Orleans button. And Friday, January 16th is the gala. It's going to be a great night, and just looking forward. People are always inspired. You know, they come together to support. Many people then pick up volunteer opportunities after that evening in order to be involved and to get involved. So it's going to be a fun night.
I would definitely encourage people to grab a friend, a family member, and then bring them along. Buy the ticket for them, because it's going to support a great cause, all the work that y'all are doing. But it's going to be a great night of evangelization, of fellowship, of faith, and so it's going to be fantastic.
Yeah, not only bring a friend, but buy a table.
Yeah, that's
10
there
people,
you go.
right?
Exactly.
And then you can invite your friends, and it's going to be a blast. It's a great meal, open bar. There's a band afterwards, so it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
In addition to an inspiring message. And as far as I know, I haven't seen Father Mike in New Orleans before, so this is your chance to see him here in New Orleans.
Praise God.
It's going to be a great event.
Yeah.
Ben, thank you so much for joining us. That's all the time we have. To learn more about the amazing work of Louisiana Right to Life, or to register for the 2026 Right to Life Gala, go to www.prolifelouisiana.org.
And that's our show for today. If you'd like to watch any of our previous episodes, you can check out our Faith in Marriage YouTube channel. And while you're there, please be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell so that you can be notified as soon as a new episode is released. Lastly, if you have a question or a comment, we would love to hear from you.
Thanks for watching. Until next time, God bless.